this exhibition, for me personally, makes me realise the impact and importance of Manchester music over the last 20 or so years.
It's a big city, there's lots going on. Culturally now it's more interesting than it's ever been before, and I think maybe people get inspired by that.
But when it comes to Manchester, there's only the music.
Yeah, Northern Town, music's cool.
Friends argue that Liverpool's got more good bands than Manchester. I've always taken the Manchester side over that one.
So the Stone Roses, the Happy Mondays, all that baggy stuff when that happened, when I was growing up and stuff, it was the music that I was into. It said something to me about my life. That's a Smiths lyric. Yes! Yeah, the music that they constantly play says nothing to me about my life. Apart from those, they were really good.
My teenage years, New Order was the band that I really was into.
I really like New Order, really liked Depeche Mode, Ultravox.
And it was just so exciting, the whole thing, getting Peter Saville record covers.
What else? Visage.
Love the records that he designed the covers for. New Order and Joy Division and all that.
Blue Monday was sort of like such a big track for me in respect of sort of like the bit of sort of like, it was like dance but indie at the same time, and I really like dance music and or techno music, and so it's sort of like was the happy medium of getting them at both styles of music in one, so it was very, 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 very important to me.
Yeah, I think it was a real treat being born in Manchester, living in Manchester at the time when you had a band that was just amazing. And not just kind of knocking out tracks, but great artwork and a nightclub as well. It was just really special and important to the city.
A big part of that will be the music scene. I mean, I'm really into Manchester music and music in general, but the music in Manchester is something that kind of encapsulates the sort of music that I like.
I moved to Manchester because I'm really into the Smiths actually, and the Stone Roses, the Happy Mondays and all that, all my favourite music when I was growing up.
The first thing you do when you start liking things, you look back to see where it's come from, and look back and find out a lot of it originated from Manchester. I mean, gosh, in the 90s, I mean, of course, Mad Manchester, I mean, that was like the place to be, obviously all the, New Order and then Charlatans and I suppose Oasis coming later on, and I suppose in Spiral Carpets and Stone Roses.
It's very rare you get a town that produces as much really good quality as Manchester does.
Manchester of music for me is very, very important again, because it's like it's sort of the beginnings of something that was really, classic style, and something that will be remembered for years to come.
A remarkable individual called Tony Wilson in Manchester, who worked for the local television network as a serious news reporter, but he had a passion for music and he had a passion for the punk movement and believed that it was important. Malcolm McLaren, who managed the Sex Pistols, was a kind of Bengali character to Tony Wilson, and Tony wanted to make the same thing happen in Manchester, so he organised a pub night, and I found out and went to say, Mr. Wilson, can I do something? So I did a poster, and that was the beginning of Bangor, and 78, and it went on for another.
I like dressing up in weird clothes. I like dressing up as like a dinosaur, Batman. I was such a tomboy. I wanted my Disney Channel show. I wanted to be like, Hannah Montana or something. Yeah, funny. It took me a long time to start wearing clothes. I used to just love being naked. My parents would have to dress me because I'd run around the supermarket to take off all my clothes and start running around. So it was fun. Freedom, liberation. We were a pretty nudist family. My mum came up and was like, you're going to the photo shoot out of it. I remember also doing like a weird fashion show when I was really young. I don't know what for. It took me so long to learn how to walk in high heels, it was a joke. And when you first start walking, it's like my head is trying to mess myself up on the catwalk because I'm going, you're going to fall, you're going to fall, and I'm walking like,
into his studio, took some pictures, and he knew that this is what I wanted.
For like 2 years I did like go-sees and worked for no money. I was always borrowing money to my mum. She was beginning to get fed up with it and started telling me to get a job, proper job and stuff like that when I started to work, so it's just as well I kind of stuck at it and didn't take her advice.
Kate has that quality of child-woman thing, which touches a nerve with men especially. That's always on the edge a little bit, and you hope to do something that stimulates people, that stimulates their imagination, and that gets noticed.
And you think modelling is a terrifying process then? It's like being thrust into the deep end of life. Suddenly your whole universe is happening from every angle, and you've got to cope. It's one of survival. It's a serious test of survival, isn't it?
Yeah, we're travelling on your own and stuff.
About 5 pieces of advice that I have to give to those of you that are starting off with film photography. Now, these 5 pieces of advice will really benefit those of you that already have experience with photography, with film photography, but these are some of the things that I've learned through almost a year of shooting a lot of film. So these are some of the things that I want to share with you guys that are also just starting off with your journey of shooting film. So let's begin. Now, the first piece of advice that I have is to try different films out. Right now, I've probably tried around 5 types of film, and they've all been color so far. So I've had a lot of...
I find myself in, and I try to... I think I spend most of my time trying to help myself to feel better, because most of the time I don't feel so good.
That's interesting, mostly because repetition is so integral to your work, and repetition for me is a means to feel better.
Yeah. I think for me rhythms and things that repeat are comforting, and I think that's why I try to work on music as well. But also rhythms and repetitions in visual works, I think I find helpful and comforting. It's